What other roles do you think are going to be eliminated in some sense? Because you mentioned, and when we were chatting offline, just the tagging piece first, 90% was done by humans and 10% by machine, and now it's probably inverted.
So to your point about like, does AI kind of replace people's jobs? I do think that AI certainly makes people a lot more efficient. I think what I've seen to date is that hasn't translated into too many jobs actually going away and people just being able to be more productive. And that might mean, of course, that future hiring is curtailed. So I now know like people could do this faster. I don't need as many people. But to your point about, we were discussing like data tagging, right? And I was saying that a few years ago before AI, we probably had 90% of our stuff had to be tagged by a human, or at least a human had to review the tag, and 10% was like fully automated. And now it's probably the reverse of that. But what we were also saying is what that allows us to do is have a lot more rows pre-tagged, right? So what we're doing now is, we have credit card data and we've got 1 million companies tagged in there. Before we had, I don't know, let's say it was 100,000 or 80,000, right? And if you do the math, the humans are doing the same amount of work there. If you have humans doing 90% of 100,000, that's like 90,000. And so the humans are sort of doing the same amount of work, but now because the machines make them more productive, we're able to get a lot more. That gets us that long tail of companies. And for a lot of our investor clients that are looking at things like buy and build, the ability to get those smaller companies and track them is actually very valuable. I think for us, we see real benefits. But again, at least at this moment, the answer isn't we need a smaller team, right? It's just now that team is they're like superheroes.